Well, welcome to what I hope is the first of several of these weekly tips that I thought might be helpful for you as you're constantly trying to manage IT and stay on top of all the things that are changing in the world of technology. So the purpose of this is just to give you a brief overview of some of the things that we're seeing, some of the changes that we're seeing in the IT industry, and just give you some things to think about again as you're trying to manage information technology in your business. So the first thing I want to start off is just a quick bit of news. So Microsoft announced last week that Office 2010 and Office 2016 for Mac, they have received their final set of security updates. So if you're continuing to use older versions of Microsoft Office, specifically 2010 or 2016 on a Mac, they will no longer receive any security updates. So I, of course, would encourage you to consider your upgrade options. I know a lot of our clients have made the shift over to Microsoft 365. Now, Microsoft does continue to offer a perpetual license for Microsoft Office products. However, the speculation is that will soon come to an end with some of the next versions of Microsoft Office. They've already announced that for the next version of Microsoft Exchange and Microsoft SharePoint, that there will no longer be on-premise offering, a perpetual offering, that those will be subscription only. So the speculation is that as the newer versions of Microsoft Office are released, they will also shift to a subscription-only model as well. So again, if you're using Office 2010, you may want to consider what your options are, and you may want to go ahead and make the jump to Microsoft 365. Now thinking ahead, we are of course into the fourth quarter of 2020. So you may want to be thinking about some of your year-end plans as it relates to IT. One thing I would encourage you to do, if you're not already, is thinking about doing some sort of IT security assessment as we approach the end of the year. There's probably been a lot of changes in your business as you've been able to respond to the pandemic, so there may be an opportunity for you to evaluate some of the risk that might have been introduced into your organization. There may be a chance to look at some of the things that were tweaked or modified as it relates to use of IT, just to make sure that you've not opened yourself up for any sort of cybersecurity incident. And for those of you who already have a scheduled year-end risk assessment, that this may be something that you've kind of gotten into a routine of, some things that I would suggest looking into as part of this year's risk assessment strategy. Look at what you've done to empower your staff to work from home. Make sure that as you've empowered your staff to work remotely, that you've not introduced any risk as it relates to staff using their own personal computers to access business IT resources. Make sure that you have a way to monitor and manage their productivity and where they may or may not be supposed to go on their computing devices. So you may want to specifically look at remote work and remote staff and the use of IT in a remote model as part of this year's risk assessment. The other thing that I would suggest you look into is your vendor management policy. We've had a lot of conversations with clients over the past few weeks about their management of third-party vendors, and we've really been digging into some of the contracts and agreements that are in place. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you understand your responsibility and your liability if the third-party vendor has a cybersecurity incident or the impact of a significant event at the third-party vendor on your ability to maintain operations. So again, wanting to make sure that risk assessment stays contemporary, take a look at those third-party contracts and just see if there's anything in there that you might want to take a deeper dive into as we go into 2021. So the last thing that I'll leave you with is I always want to make sure that you're aware of the things that we're seeing in the business and things that we're seeing clients take advantage of. And so in asking, are you doing this, I would ask, are you utilizing DNS security products? For many years we've implemented web filtering and content management solutions, technologies designed to manage where your staff can and can't go on the internet. Well, that technology, as all technology does, it's evolved. And we've really gotten into a space where DNS security provides us with two things. It provides us with the ability to manage that that internet surfing, if you will, at a very granular level, so we can get in at the device level and have a specific acceptable use policy as it relates to internet usage for a specific device. But DNS security actually allows us to layer on top of that another security level, where even if a website may be allowable under acceptable use, we're actually able to block that website if it is carrying some sort of malicious content. And what's really nice about DNS security is that it typically goes with the device. So going back to what I was saying earlier, if you have devices that are leaving the office, going with somebody to their house, for example, the policies and the securities that we've set up and configured go with that device. So it really helps protect those machines that might be moving outside of the four walls of the building. So I hope these tips were helpful. Again, look for these to come once a week. If you have any questions, of course, you can contact Jackson Thornton Technologies at our help desk, 334-261-6475, or visit us on our website, www.jttconnect.com. Thanks.